Captain Firefox, and we are back again in Space Engineers. This video is a little different than what I'm used to on the channel, but if you will, stick with me, it should be entertaining. Now, this video and the one that came out at the same time, which is linked in the description below, is all about what I want next version, Space Engineers 2, if you will, to be. And this comes about after a series of videos, one done by Captain Jack, one done by Meow Captain, about an interview with Merrick. Now, in that interview, which you can see right here, or on Captain Jack's YouTube channel, again, the link's in the description below, he asks a bunch of questions, and during his interview, Merrick says that he mentions the next version of Space Engineers. He alluded to a Space Engineers 2, which Meow Captain jumped on and made a video that riled up the community about Keen has said they're abandoning Space Engineers and moving on to Space Engineers 2, which Merrick then puts this up on March 22nd saying, no, I'm not getting rid of Space Engineers. It's my baby. It's not going away. He also mentions that he's not going to tell us what's coming on because he doesn't want to ruin the surprise, even though they gave teasers forever about planets and everything else, and engines and wind turbines and everything else. But they're not doing that anymore. Apparently now they're keeping everything close to their chest, and they're only going to tell us when they want, what they want, whatever. It's his company. I guess he can do what he wants, right? So the first video I did was about what needs to be done in the current game Space Engineers before it can be called complete, before it can go to sale as a completed version, however you want to look at it. Before he moves on to Space Engineers 2, that was 10 things he needed to do to finish off Space Engineers. This video is all about what I want in the next version of Space Engineers 2. So what I want them to do to Space Engineers 2. It's 10 things, so let's dive right in. In no particular order, here we go. Number 1, and this probably is the most important, it needs to be based in multiplayer code. Get an engine from this decade that's up to date with things that can run smoothly and that can have a large multiplayer community playing the game together. Think multiplayer first. Now, I know when Space Engineers was created, no one ever thought it was going to turn into what it is. There was no planets, there was half the blocks that are in the game now. It was a much more simpler version, and it worked fairly well on the engine they used it on. Well, they've then bastardized the engine. They can't update it now. They basically have to go to a new engine to get the game better than it currently is. So, my request is that the next version of Space Engineers is thought of from conception as a multiplayer game. Because let's face it, you can build the biggest, baddest ship on the block, and it's no fun if you can't show it off. And if you can't take it up against your buddies and try to blow them up. And that's half the fun of this game. And maybe 3/4 of the fun of this game. So please, Keen, in Space Engineers 2, get the multiplayer right first, not 5 years down the road. Focus on the multiplayer. I don't think there's anybody out there who's going to disagree with that statement. Moving on, number 2. Stability. For the love of God, please make the game work. Like, I don't want to be sitting here playing Space Engineers 2 5 years down the road saying, man, I really hope they finish this game someday. Like, for Christ's sakes, like, you had 5 years to figure out what was going on in Space Engineers. You should be able to create a new version, an upgraded version, on a new engine in considerably less time. I have no idea how long these things take, so I can't put a time frame on it. But I can tell you it better be less than 5 years, or you're going to lose what little of your community you have left. And the numbers speak for themselves. They're dwindling, guys. So, not only do you need a multiplayer that works, but you need a game that's worked. And by that, I mean, like I said in my other video, if things like pistons and rotors are causing you problems, they're causing ships to explode, they're not working like you envisioned, take them out of the game. This ship right here is badass. Guess how many rotors and pistons it has on it? 0! Guess who would be crying and calling for pistons and rotors if everything else in the game worked? Okay, let's face it, the gaming community, there'd be people bitching about not having it. But the vast majority of people would be so much happier with a game that works with fewer perks that can be modded to get the perks. Because let's face it, we want pistons and rotors and stuff so that we can do things like ramps and doors that open coolly. There are people that will mod that for us anyways. So please, Keen, blocks that work, stable platform, and multiplayer that we can all enjoy. Moving on, number 3. Now this is something that I think would make this game leaps and bounds better than it already is. And let's be honest, I love Space Invaders. Give me territory control. Now, again, you can't do this without multiplayer that works, because let's face it, it's not fun to protect territory from NPCs. So, assuming the multiplayer works, assuming that you can have more than 10 or 15 people on a server at a time before it melts and crawls to a halt, give me a territory control unit. Dual Universe is talking about it. They're doing, like, each planet it's being blocked up into a bunch of hexagons, and you have to fight for control for each one. I don't need it on that small of a scale. You know, maybe block the planets off into, 12 sectors, whatever, I don't care, pick a number. And you have to build and control a territory control unit, whatever you want to call it. Something that you have to build around. You can do it in space the same way. You have stations that you have to build and you can claim that territory. Something that gives another faction a reason to come attack you. On the server we've got right now, so many people are running away from combat. Instead of fighting, they just jump away. Like, give them a reason to fight. Give them a reason to take the ship they've spent hours of their life building and mining resources for into combat where it's more than likely to get destroyed. Give them a reason to play the game. Give them a reason to log in. Territory control is what makes Sov and Eve so great. People invest years of their life into Sov and Eve because it's something to fight about. It's something to log in for. Give us that. I'm not a coder. I'm not a programmer. I'm a dreamer. Damn it, and I'm dreaming about territory control. Make it happen. Alright, off that soapbox. Moving on, number 4. Okay, so explain the logic of this to me. So you have 2 inherently unstable blocks, right? In pistons and rotors. Inherently unstable. They blow up for whatever reason, right? So what does Keen decide to do? What do they do? I know. Let's make this already inherently unstable block, also known as a rotor, let's make it a link between small grids and large grids. What could possibly go wrong, right? Why the hell would you do that? Now again, I'm not a coder, I'm not a programmer. I've talked to people who are. And apparently, small grids and large grids they're completely different in coding language. And again, I'm showing my ignorance here, and I apologize. But why would you take 2 things that don't really compute well together in the first place, being large grids and small grids, and hook them together in something that explodes on its own already for no freaking reason? Why would you do that? Whenever you have a block, in the name of the block, they call it a merge block. And they have a large grid and a small grid. Why, Keen, would you not think, maybe, just maybe, I should make this the link between large grids and small grids? What? Would that make sense? Why couldn't you do that? Well, instead, they went and made rotors the link between large and small grids. It's lunacy. So in Space Engineers 2, the point of that rant was make your merge blocks the link between large and small grids. I don't know how it's difficult, but no one's thought of that before, apparently. Make it happen, guys. It doesn't have to be a merge block. Whatever you come up with in Space Engineers 2, just don't make something inherently unstable more unstable. Don't do it. It's stupid. Use common sense. Okay. Now, apologize for the screen not moving around occasionally. I'm gesturing wildly with my hand and it's driving me nuts. Anyways, moving on. Number 5. This probably is a pipe dream, and it's I could do without it. But how cool would it be to have transitions between good lord, I'm walking through blocks here. Yeah, fix that too. Transitions between getting in and out of cockpits, or chairs, or seats, or whatever. Like right now, let me find the door. I'm walking on the outside of this damn thing. I don't even know where the freaking door is. Door? Door? I think I know how to get into the ship. It's kind of a set piece for the Odyssey. Do you have a door? Door? Whoever built this did an excellent job of hiding the entry points. Oh, have I flown by it like 4 times already and just not seen it? You know, are all laughing at me right now? That'd be cool. Holy crap. Here we go. Okay. So how cool would it be to be able to see yourself get in the blocks more than just, oh, I'm in the block. Oop, I'm out of the block. How do I transition? Star Citizen does an excellent job of that, where you literally, especially in first person, you see yourself climb up into it, you see your hands moving around, you look around the cockpit once you sit in there. Like, again, I'm not a coder, I'm not a programmer, I don't know how difficult that is, but it's something that makes Star Citizen so immersive. And to me, in my ignorance from coding, seems so simple to do. I don't understand why it's definitely on the want column. Not need, but definitely a want for Space Engineers 2. That would take you so much into immersion and just make the game so much better, in my opinion. So, moving on. Now, I brought this up a little bit on the other one. Number 6 is character customization. Again, it's 2018. We should have more than just a white dude as the only playable character. Give me some females and minorities. And on top of that, you know, as a content creator who's making videos and all of my characters look the same, like, please let me change their face and hair color and beard. Please. Like, oh, I know there's mods for it, and I went on tangents on the other video about how the modders can do everything Keen can't. But Keen, please, let me change the face. Even if it's only like 5 or 10 presets I can choose from. Let me do that. Give me that. As a content creator, it would make life so much easier. So much easier. So please, do that. Moving on. Number 7. Better weapon selection. Now that's the wrong button. This is a very modded world I'm on right now. So I've got all these different weapons. I'm not asking for all these different weapons, but there's got to be a better weapon selection than what there is in vanilla. Like, this is it for vanilla personnel weapons. Like, I realize it's 3 more than we had a year or so ago, but it's a damn shame that this is all we have. And I have to go get, you know, something modded to be able to do something besides shoot a rifle. Like, it's bad. Like, you have so many blocks in this game. Give me something besides just a rifle to play around with. And same thing goes for the weapons. This is it, guys. That's it in vanilla, right there. Those are your 3 turrets. That's all you have to choose from. There's like 3 mods on here, and look at all this selection. Now, I'm not saying I need 250 different selections of weapons, but you know, give me a vanilla laser turret. I mean, this is space, right? It's the future, right? Give me a laser gun, for crying out loud. You know, give me a different kind of missile launcher. Give me an anti-missile turret. You know? Something like that. Something you don't have to use your imagination for. Just play a video game, for crying out loud. And you'll see that there's more than 2 options for weapons. And again, I know they've made great strides with these, with the vanilla weapons as they are. I'll never understand why that goes there. But they can do so much more. There's got to be more selection. And for the love of God, get rid of the 3x3x3 hitbox. But I went on my tangent on that in the other video, so go check that out if you want to hear me bitch about that. Alright, number 8. Tiered thrusters. Now, let me explain this. Tiered thrusters. The idea behind that is that you have like your stock ion thrusters, atmo thrusters, hydrogen thrusters, whatever. No problem. And again, there's a mod out there for that. But that shouldn't be the end game, something you just start off with right now. Give me a level up or progression system where I can unlock these new tiers of thrusters so that towards the end game I can build a big old ship like this and only put 1 or 2 thrusters in every direction. So I don't need 30 or 40 freaking thrusters to make a big old ship go. Because at that point it's visually unappealing. Like, let me hop in Spectator and find, like, this right here. Look how many freaking thrusters are needed to get this ship off the ground. Like, it's ridiculous. If you had a tiered thruster, you could get away with, pick a number, a quarter of these, if you did it right. And it could cut down on the size of the ships, which would help cut down some of the lag for the sim speed and whatnot on servers. And you could do so much more visually with your ships if you didn't have to worry about where you're going to stick 14 trillion thrusters on the damn ship. So a tiered thruster, something that will push a big ship that's the same size, maybe a different colored thrust or whatever. There's just type in tiered thrusters on the workshop and you'll see what I'm talking about. They're a great addition to the game, and again, it's something that should be in vanilla. Number 9. I went a little bit into this in the other video again. The NPCs. They gotta be better. They just gotta be better. Give me a challenge. And again, I kind of went into that in the other video, so I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent from there. Give me an NPC faction with some backstory. Instead of just saying, oh, there's drones out there. Like, give me an opening cutscene where it explains why these drones or aliens or whatever you want to go with are there. Maybe we found the new alien and they're randomly sending people over here to attack. I don't need a campaign. I don't need missions or anything like that. But give me some backstory as to why these things are randomly showing up and attacking me. Like, that'd be great. Like, how much fun could that be? Yeah, there's a reason this red dot just showed up on my map and is coming at me. Oh, it's because the whoever's from wherever's are pissed off at us little earthlings and they're trying to kill me. Like, give me that. Give me some immersion. Give me a reason to build up my defenses and want to go fight these guys instead of just, oh, there's a red dot going across the screen. Who cares? I'm not going to go chase after it. So that would be something that's great. And along with that, make that NPC faction have a little bit of teeth. And again, it doesn't need to start off with a big old capital ship coming and jumping on your respawn ship. That's no fun. It's impossible. No one wants to do that. But, a few hours into the game, or when you hit a certain block count limit, some kind of trigger, start sending out more freaking drones that come and attack you. Do things like you've seen Wasted's videos where they have the kamikaze drones and stuff like that. That makes the game fun. And again, I went into it in the other video, but I just got wiped out by a bunch of freaking drones on my survival server, and it was the most fun I've had in years in this game. Give me that. Like, yes, please. And I'm blanking on the name of the mod right now that did it. I'm sorry I'm blanking it. Someone will tell me in the comment section below. But give me that in vanilla. Give me a challenge in vanilla with the NPCs, not just a source of components for me to grind down. Like, I don't need that. I can just go mine the stuff and make it in the assemblers. Give me a challenge from the NPCs. And number 10, and this is quite possibly the most important part of this, don't screw up what you got right in Space Engineers. And I could make a whole other video about what's right with Space Engineers, but there's 3 things in the background that are right with Space Engineers in this picture. The planets, the moons, the scale of the world is great. I don't need more than this. Even if there was 20 or 30 people in this world right here, there's so much space in space in all these worlds that I would never worry about running into them unless I wanted to. Like, don't change that. I played a little bit of Empyrean lately, and the worlds are much smaller. There's more worlds in it, but they're so much smaller. Keep this scale. It's great. You did that right. On top of that, don't change the building. Like, y'all got that right. Like, building in this game is great. It's as realistic as you can make something that's, not realistic. The welding is good. The grinding is good. You have tiered tools on there. It goes back to my tiered thrusters. Make that happen. But that you did right. That part of this game is enjoyable. And if you don't like the welding and grinding, that's what creative's for. But you've got that part right. You've got the look down. This game looks great right now. Like, you guys keep impressing me when you do these visual updates. But this game looks fantastic right now. Updated on the new engine. I'm sure you can do better. But you got the look down. Like, this is, when the 6-year-old me is out there thinking about space exploration and going out and doing things, this is it. Right here, this image in front of you on the screen right now is it. It's solar panels and spaceships and rockets and stars and yes, don't make it cartoony. Don't make it anime-y. Don't change it from this. Don't try to make it something that you don't need to. You've got the look down, you've got the building down, you've got the scale down. Just make it work. Like this right here, make this turret freaking vanilla. That's great. Look, it fits in there. It looks good. It fits into the build of the ship. Okay, I'm going off on tangents again. But yeah, Keen, you got so much right with this game. And I say that as I'm stuck in a block. Like, this shit right here drives me nuts with this game. 5 years in development, and my character's halfway in a block. I couldn't have done that better. Like, this is why we hate this game. If I just spent minutes talking about how much we love it, this is the shit that's got to stop. And I realize that you're working on an outdated engine. It sucks. I get that. But when you make Space Engineers 2, which is what this video is about, cut this shit out. There's no room for it. But I think that's it. My blood pressure's way up now. I hope you guys like this video. I hope someone shows this to Keen so they can know what at least one of their content creators cares about and wants to see whenever they're done fixing the original Space Engineers and decide to move on to the next one. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please hit that like button. If you really liked it, do hit subscribe. Make sure you check out my other video. It's linked in the description below about the 10 things they need to fix before they can complete this Space Engineers and move on to Space Engineers 2. So again, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Check out my other videos on the channel. There's some great stuff on there. And as always, I will see you all next time.